Hi, I'm Tiffany Peterson, and I am excited to share with you today's session. Super, super juicy, looking at your fear of success. Now, stay with me on this one. I, like you, may have thought originally when I heard of the concept that I might have fear of success, I thought that's kind of psychobabble talk, right? Like, who's really going to be afraid to be more successful, to be more experienced in your career and get promoted and make more money and have better relationships and be healthy and in shape and have the things that you love and you enjoy? But you'd be surprised. In my experience as a coach and working with people around the world, fear of success is often the bigger culprit sabotaging results and productivity than fear of failure. So I want you to just tune into this with me for just a little bit. Years ago, when I was brand new to selling, I had a mentor share with me the phrase, "You will perform to your self-esteem." And at the time, again, I thought, what kind of talk is that? I will perform to my self-esteem. Well, I lived it out to be true. Prior to starting that job, I thought I was going to go into special needs teaching and education and worked in classrooms in Salt Lake City for a couple of years. And the most amount of money I'd ever made was about $30,000 in a year, right? And now what was happening to me in this sales opportunity and the experience that I was in is that what I used to make in a month, I was starting now to make in a week. Now, some of you might be thinking, yeah, tough life, right? But see, I wasn't prepared for that. Emotionally, I didn't have the landscape, the mindset for that. So for myself, I watched myself hit up against that resistance, that comfort zone, right? Or one of my favorite books of all time called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. He calls it your upper limit. Now, I didn't have that language and I didn't have that mindset training. So how did I respond at that time? Well, I wasn't ready for it. And so what I did was backed off. I procrastinated a lot, shuffled a lot of papers, a lot of busy work, right? To avoid what that was for me. It was uncomfortable because my comfort zone looked like this. And now I was earning potential looked like this, right? Much larger than that. I love this concept here I want to share with you. CZ equals money Z, which simply stands for your comfort zone equals your money zone, right? Now, money isn't the only way when I talk about fear of success. It's one of several, but it's one that's often you can look at because it is measurable, right? So your comfort zone equals your money zone. If you've ever been a sales manager or a team leader or running individuals, you probably know what I know, right? As I've done that in my career in years past too, is that if I had someone, for instance, on my sales team that was comfortable making, let's say, $3,000 a month in income, if it was the 15th of the month and they already hit that number, what could I count on them for the rest of the month? Nothing, right? Now, if it was the 28th of that month and that was their must-have number and they were not close to it, what behaviors could I count on them from them then, right? Added hours at the office, taking work home, doing whatever it takes to hit that number. All of you have a comfort zone or a number that you're familiar with, right? What's familiar is also another phrase of comfort or comfort zone. But here's the gift. Everything you want is just outside your comfort zone, right? So fear of success, let's look at this. How would I be afraid of being successful? You might be asking, like, how is that even possible? But again, we tend as life to do what's familiar, what is known. So a lot of times the fears at play of helping you be more successful is really just the fear of the unknown. It's new territory. But some of those other fears that latch on to that one might sound like, well, what will other people think of me? Or if I'm too successful, will I be liked? Especially as women. As women, we are raised from when we are really little to fit in, right? A little different than boys and young men and men, right? Where they can be on the football field and really own their success and say, hey, I did this or I achieved. Well, as women, we're socialized often to fit in. But whether you're male or female, this fear of success may be at play for you because what you're looking at is really just getting outside of what's familiar, the known territory for you, right? I know that I had to face that and do some mindset training to be prepared to handle the different results, the better success or the more opportunities or things like that. Because again, some of our fears I love. There's some great work by Stephen Pressfield called The War of Art, discussing in his material the concept of resistance, that resistance comes into play when you're progressing in your goals. But he says the ultimate resistance or the ultimate fear is fear of success. Why? Because we're tribal as humans. We're social creatures. We love the tribe. We love to fit in. We love to feel loved and taken care of and nurtured. Those are natural, normal feelings. So what you may be potentially feeling, or the fear is, if I change that landscape, if I double my income, how will that change my family or my marriage, right? Will it create a ruffling? Or will it change things with this, that, or the other? Will I have to work harder and be stressed and exhausted and live on an airplane, right? So whether it's the fear of change at some level, of course, that's what's at play, or the other fears around social acceptance. Will I be liked? Will I fit in? Will I be approved of? Will I still have membership in the tribe? Because the masses are talking about struggle and strife. Now, every one of us, myself included, we have different things of challenges and things we do struggle with. But when we talk about really changing the landscape of your life, just be aware there's a whole mindset component to this. I invite you to get a copy of the book, The Big Leap, and to read that. That will support you heavily. I don't get paid to endorse that. It's just work I use with my coaching clients and for myself. Again, the author is Gay Hendricks. You might truly enjoy that. So here's just a couple little nuggets I want to leave you with today, right? To help assure yourself, if you're feeling that way, is number one, is you'll cross that bridge when you get there, right? If your fear of success is, what if it changes me? What if I'm too busy? What if? Again, fear often leads out with the same old tune. What if, fill in the blank, right? What if I'm too busy? What if I disconnect from my kids? What if? You'll cross that bridge when you'll get there. You'll find the solutions. You'll get the support that you need. And keep in mind, you can always go back. If you absolutely hate what you create, you know how to undo it, right? You can always go back. And that might sound a little funny, but I find that's a way to help people feel comfortable. Secondly, you will handle it. You'll figure it out. You'll get the tools, the education, the support, right? Is that you will be able to handle it. Everything you've been through up to this point, you've handled it, right? And you're learning to handle it. So I just invite you to become conscious is don't allow your fear of, what if I can't handle it? What if, to sabotage your success and your results. Third is I just want to remind you, a powerful teaching I learned years ago from Robert Kiyosaki was this: money just magnifies who you are. Success in general, I'd like to add to that, just magnifies who you are, right? And so if you're afraid, I know for me, one of my biggest fears when I was facing creating massive change in my success, in my career, in my production, in my income, was I was afraid that more money would change me as a person. I was afraid that it would uproot me spiritually. My faith is really important to me and my spiritual roots. I was afraid that if I created too much success, right, that would unearth my roots spiritually. Or I was afraid it would change or I would make me in a different person that I didn't want to be. Maybe like me, you were taught from a young age that money was the root of all evil and that it might change you and that rich people don't get into heaven. Those are just stories. It's not truth. Money just magnifies who you are, right? As well as other things that we look at with success. And finally, one thing that has helped me and may help you as well is jot out and write out and craft vision. How will you give back when you achieve those next sales goals, when you rank advance in your direct sales company, when you get the promotion, right? How will you give back to yourself, to your family, to your community? Is that giving and generosity is so central to, I think, living a very full life. Now, we don't have to make a lot of money to be generous. In fact, I invite you to be generous today with what you have, where you're at, right? Is become the kind of person that you're wanting to become. Don't wait until your circumstances change to be that. Ironically, the circumstances only change once you change who you are, right? I love the quote by Jim Rohn. He says, becoming and getting are like Siamese twins. If you want more than what you've got, become more than who you are. So thank you so much for tuning in. I love this topic. Get the book, The Big Leap. It will support you. But staying anchored and aware that the fear of success may be what's sabotaging you or holding you back. For most, it isn't the fear of failure when you really get into it. It's the fear of success. Will I be liked? Will I still fit into the tribe? And I'm outside my comfort zone. I'm leaving what's familiar and known to the unknown. You can handle it. You'll figure it out. Thanks again for tuning in. If you'd like to stay connected to future trainings, tips, and tools, I invite you to head on over to my website, tiffanyspeaks.com, and opt in there. We'll stay connected through that site and that resource. Thanks again. I'll look forward to seeing you on another session soon.